Hello friends, Heidi here from Rain Country. God is good all the time, and I'm here for another this and that. And one of the things I want to talk about today is zucchini, because now my zucchini is coming in and it's looking really good. I haven't got to taste any of it yet, but yeah, I'm looking forward to digging into this and talking a little bit about what are some of the many things that you can do with zucchini. Now, I did do a video last year about zucchini and ways that you can preserve it, and I'll go ahead and link to that right up here. And I don't remember what all I talked about in that. I know I talked about freezing. I don't think I talked about dehydrating, but I have dehydrated zucchini before. I never did any last year, but the year before I dehydrated a whole bunch of it up, and I ended up eating quite a bit of it just right out of the jars after I sealed them, throughout the year. But I did try cooking some of it, because one of the things I like to use zucchini for is a noodle replacement. So if I'm just trying to avoid grains, I'm just trying to get lots of good vegetables and I want some noodles, I love noodles, then I'll just go ahead and I got one of those little spiralizers, just a small one, and sometimes I'll do it that way. So you can just use a peeler and peel it and keep peeling it, and it makes big wide type noodles. And then cook them up and just treat them like you would any other kind of noodle. And they're really good. Now, one of the other things I really like to do for eating them fresh is I like to cut them into pieces where they look more like French fries. And then I'll sprinkle a little of my own seasoned salt on them, and then dip them in some organic ketchup. I've used my own homemade ketchup. I've also get some organic stuff from the store that has no corn syrup in it, and it's pretty good. I like to mix that even with my homemade mayonnaise, so the mayonnaise and ketchup, the special sauce, or even just plain mustard. Mustard's really good for you, and it's got turmeric in it usually too. And so that's one of the things I like to do with the zucchini. And just so you understand what today is, by the time you're seeing this, it's going to be at least a week out. So I'll probably be, by the time you see this, I'll have a lot more zucchini than what you see here. I've only just started. Things are really behind this year, but it's okay because we're getting, the produce is coming in now, and it's exciting, and I love this time of year. It's busy, because I have to get out there every day and pick something. The blueberries, the peas, the beans, and the zucchini. But it's just a great blessing to have all this food coming in. Now, some other things you can do with it, I've heard some people talk about making them more like a chip when they dehydrate it. Now, what I was thinking, which I haven't tried yet, is putting just a little bit of a good healthy oil, like a melted coconut oil or even avocado oil on there when you go to dehydrate it, and I think it would make it a little crispier and make it even more like a chip. So I think I'm going to try that probably even today. I might take one of these and just cut a little bit of it up and give it a try. And what are some other things? You can also make a relish out of them. I like using the zucchini and green tomatoes to make a relish, and it's just such a great relish. So much better than what you can find in the store, and it's healthy, and you're just making it out of the excess from your garden, your excess zucchini, your excess green tomatoes. And I'm not sure if I have a video on making the zucchini green tomato relish. If I do, I'll link to it up here, but I can't remember if I did a video on it. If I didn't do a video on it last year, I'll try to do one this year. I know I did do a video on the salsa, using the salsa verde, using my tomatillos, a little bit of zucchini, and some green tomatoes in there too. So there's lots you can do with your green tomatoes as well. And I think I might have a video on that too. And that's just a few of the things that I like to do with my zucchini. So obviously there's zucchini bread. I love to stir fry it. I love adding it to any kind of stir fry. It's just so good. And even the stuff that I've frozen up before, I chunk it up and freeze it. It actually freezes a lot better than you think. I just try things to see if it's going to work. And I was surprised. Yes, it does get watery. You drain the water off and you just throw it in your stir fry even after you've frozen it. But fresh is always best. But anyway, what I'm hoping that some of you will do, because a lot of people out there grow zucchini, and anyone who grows zucchini usually gets a lot of it. So what are some of the things you like to do with your excess zucchini? Okay, another thing I wanted to talk about, in my last This and That video, I was talking mostly about some of the gifts that people have given me over the years, and this was the package I was talking about that was waiting in the post office for me. I finally got down there and got it. And thank you to the lady who sent this to me. One of the things that makes this super cool, knowing how much I love old books, this was published in 1890. And it's the Compendium of Cookery and Reliable Recipes. 2 volumes in one. And it just looks like it has just a whole lot of really great information. So when it comes to anything like this, it's another reason why I like old books. And I've talked about this in my other old book videos, that I just think when you go back to, if you're looking for something for information, you know, and you're looking for the old ways, get the old books. If you're looking for cookbooks, find the old ones, the ones before they started, you know, adding a can of this and a package of that, where they were actually doing things from scratch. That's really what cooking from scratch is. And especially using stuff right from their gardens. And so we've just a lot of great information in here. So thank you for this book. I love it. It's beautiful, and it's dark green. I love green, so I'm going to have this also be an accessory in my kitchen, decor. I've got one of my other old cookbooks back there. They can hardly see it behind the lights and the grapes, but this is going to become a part of my kitchen decor as well as use. Okay, some other things going on. I've got some eggs fermenting. These are just plain. I didn't put any spices in them because if I'm going to make potato salad, especially a potato salad I'm going to take somewhere using the home canned potatoes and my fermented eggs, I prefer for the eggs to be white. The problem with adding like the peppers and the red pepper and some of the other stuff I love to add, it kind of turns them a different color. That I already get people that are a little funny about eating my green salads when I take them because of all the flowers in them. They kind of freak out a little bit, and they don't touch them. I really don't want to make a potato salad with eggs where the white looks a little brown, because I know they won't know what to think of that. So I like them to stay white, and that's why I'm doing that right now with these, is for having on hand for potato salads and stuff that I can make in it quickly. Okay, and then here is, I can't remember which video it was, I'm pretty sure it was this and that, where I was talking about the homemade pickles. I haven't done a video on these yet. I will soon. I'm waiting to get enough cucumbers where I can start doing that. They're only just started coming in, really. I know my last this and that video I showed a couple of them, but since then I haven't got any more, and I'm just now starting to get more. And part of that is that my cucumber plants need time to really get up to the light more in the greenhouse, because they only do good in the greenhouse, and to also where the bees and stuff will come in there and see them more. I do try to get in and hand pollinate them. But anyway, I will be doing a video on these, but I wanted to mention these. You can see they're mostly gone. My other jar got eaten up a long time ago. I hid these in the back of the refrigerator so I'd stop eating them, because I wanted them to sit longer to see if they would stay crunchy. Now this has my homemade vinegar and some horseradish leaves in here to keep it crunchy, and I just tried one before I started this video and they are still crunchy, and I know it's been at least a good month, maybe a couple of months, and they're still, if these were just the regular fermented ones, they tend to get a little soft, but these ones are staying nice and crunchy, and I'm loving it. I have this out because I just started a batch of some natural soda using raisins, and get this, cacao nibs. Somebody brought this up under one of my other videos about using raisins to make it taste more like Dr. Pepper for your natural soda. So I'm like, oh, that sounds like a great idea. But then I got this wild hair and thought, you know, I think the cacao nibs would add even more of that flavor to it. So I threw some of those organic raw cacao nibs in here, and I tasted it, and it tastes pretty good so far, but it needs at least another good day to ferment. But it's already pretty fizzy. I can hear it in there. Anyway, that's why this was out. I can put it in the fridge now, but when I use, this is the Goji berry fermentation starter. Whenever I use these, I just top them off, add a little bit more sugar, top them off with water, and then let them sit on the counter for the day, and just to get real bubbly again, and then put them back in the fridge. So that's what I use to get my natural soda going this time. Now, if you watched my video on infused water for drinking, hydration, I don't even know what I'm going to call the video yet, but I'll link to it right up here, whatever it is I called it. And this one here, I was talking about how this lavender lemon one, I had to try, you know, because even though, just because I don't like the taste of stuff, doesn't mean I don't still try. And I don't like it. And it is pretty strong. I put quite a few lavender flowers in here. But instead of tossing it, I'm going to take this and add it to a big jar, put in some more flowers and maybe a few more lemon slices and make a lemon lavender vinegar out of it. So it's not going to go to waste. No tossing of it here. So that's what I'm doing with that. Obviously I'll be adding a bunch of sugar to it. This, I'll probably put at least a half cup of sugar into the half-gallon jar along with this, more water, and some more flowers. And continuing on, here is a jar of my ground up eggshells that I use for, I'll make capsules out of this. I have a video on making capsules. I'll go ahead and link to that up here if I'm not running out of iCards yet. Sometimes I do run out. I don't keep track of how many I'm talking about up there. But one of the things, I brought this up because somebody had asked about, in my tooth powder video, I think it was, where I use calcium and magnesium powder that I buy, the Now Foods, and I put that into my tooth powder blend, and somebody asked why not try using eggshells, powdering up eggshells. Would those work? Because we know that eggshells are high in both calcium and magnesium. And I thought about that before, but I was thinking, well, eggshells, it's really hard to get them really powdered up. I mean, you can get some that way, but it always seems like there's these chunks. But I went ahead and gave it a try, and as far as, I don't know how well it works on the teeth, I still think the longer you brush, or at least let this stuff sit in your mouth and on your teeth, the more it's actually going to get onto your teeth. I mean, they put fluoride on your teeth. Why wouldn't this work? Or, you know, I don't do it, but some people do. But anyway, so I tried adding some to my tooth powder, and yes, it's kind of gritty and stuff. I think as long as you're gentle in the way you brush, don't overbrush, don't brush too hard. You shouldn't do that anyway. You should never buy hard bristle toothbrushes and stuff like that. You should be doing it very gently so it's not so abrasive. But mostly what I'll do is I'll brush a little bit, and then I'll take whatever, whether it be the coconut oil or the coconut oil and my tooth powder, or just the tooth powder, and then I'll just let it swish around in my mouth for a good amount of time, like 10 to 20 minutes, so that it's really working on my teeth and my gums and all that stuff for just good oral health care. And I really liked the results in this, so I'm going to probably keep doing that. And I don't know if Mr. Rain will give it a try, because like I say, it's still kind of gritty because you got chunks in there. But it's worth a try. I'm really happy with how eggshells have been working for me in general of my health, especially with the menopause, because it's been helping with my hot flashes. If I ever start having hot flashes, I'm like, oh, didn't have my eggshells, and so I go eat some more eggshells, and it really does the trick. And even the hot flashes I do have are so very, very mild. So what I have here is some of my Tulsi, the holy basil, and I talked a little bit about this in the water video that I mentioned. And I'll be doing a video soon on the benefits of Tulsi or holy basil. Hopefully I'll get to it this year. If I don't get to it this year, I'll definitely do it next summer. I always try to do it while things are in season and growing. But if you're not growing holy basil, look into getting some seeds. I'll be getting seeds off my plants this year. I've already got one starting to go to seed, but I don't think I'm going to have any for sale. So I would recommend checking out Baker Creek and finding some seeds there. And I find the best way to grow it is in pots in the greenhouse, at least for where I'm at. To start it in pots in the greenhouse, and then just let it grow there. You can also start them inside. And then here, this is the first time trying this, I'm dehydrating up some of my green beans now that my green beans are starting to come in, and I still have tons in the freezer because freezing green beans is my favorite thing to do. I've canned them before. They're very easy to can, and it is nice to have them on hand that way. But as the green beans come in, I find it easiest just to go ahead and freeze them as they come in. But this year I decided I'd try dehydrating some. And I tasted a couple of these just like this, and I was really surprised at the flavor. So good. So I'm definitely going to be doing at least a full pint-sized jar of the dehydrated green beans. and then maybe more. Because I have yet to try cooking with these. I've cooked with my dried snow peas because, well, I've done that before in the past, but since I'm just starting with the green beans, I'm thinking they'll turn out really good throwing into a soup or a stew. But, you know, whatever, or even rehydrating and using them in a stir fry, they'd probably be good. So I'll be giving those things a try down the road, probably later, like maybe in the fall, in the winter, you might see me cooking with them, and I'll let you know what I think and my results there. And, oh, and here is, now remember, I think it was my last this and that video, I don't recall. It was, whichever one it was, I was talking about beet kvass. I made some beet kvass, and I did take the beets. Didn't get a whole lot, but that's what you expect once you dehydrate something. After I drank all the beet kvass, all the liquid, I then took the beets and cut them up real small and dehydrated them up, and I was surprised at how quickly they dehydrated, and then turned them into a powder so I can use this for a natural coloring for whatever it is I want to make. My thinking was mostly for using in my pastas when I make, the next time I make pasta. So I'll be doing a video on that. I still have another pasta shape I want to show you that Mr. Rain ended up making me a special piece of equipment for, so I can make that specific pasta. And I will show that in a future video, but it will probably be more like later in the fall. We'll see, depends. Summer is so busy. But anyway, I plan on using the beet powder for coloring the noodles. Just so you're getting some more of those beets, you're making the most out of the beets, and you're using a fully natural coloring to do it, just like I did in that one video where I used the moringa. And I have some other ideas that I'll be showing down the road as far as that goes. Okay, and then the only other thing I have sitting here is a batch of, I'm going to be making some, it's, what is it, lemon, marshmallow, and dandelion soap. So I've got all the stuff in there, all the ingredients are all mixed together in the jar already, and then when I go to make the soap, I'll just dump it all in there. So I've got dandelion flowers, I've got dried marshmallow leaves, and some dehydrated lemon peel in here. And then I'll also put a little bit of a lemon essential oil. I find that my citrus soaps are the ones that tend to sell the best. The citrus, the lavender, and the peppermint. And then, of course, the cedar patchouli one sells really good because it's a very masculine smell. So the guys tend to like that one best. Okay, well, that's what's going on today. That's what I had to show you. And there'll be more to come. So I hope you enjoyed this video and that you learned something new. Thanks for watching. Take care. And God bless.